Welcome to Spenelli Speaks. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is officially May, and that means it is time for my May TBR. I cannot believe how well I did in April. So I'm gonna try to keep the momentum going, and I've got a pretty hefty pile this time. Before we get into that, I wanted to take a moment and just say thank you to all of my new subscribers, to all of my been here since the beginning subscribers, all of my subscribers who have been commenting and chatting with me. I feel so blessed to be part of this community and to be chatting with you every day. I love all of the new comments. I love having conversations. So thank you so much. I'm really happy that you're here, and I'm really hoping that the content that I'm giving you is what you're looking for. So thank you so much. If you have any books that you are wondering about, if you've seen anything on my shelves that you're like, boy, Danny, I would really like you to read that next, just let me know. I make these TBRs really willy-nilly and all from my shelves at the current state right now. I haven't gotten anything from the library in a while. So all of these books are straight from my shelves. So I think I'm still chugging along on that TBR clear out that Katie from Books and Things has going on from April. So I'm still chugging along pretty well. And as you can tell, I have plenty of books here. So let's get into my TBR for May. Now, I mentioned last month in April that I had a Jane Eyre comic that I wanted to read along with Jane Eyre. Well, turns out that wasn't Jane Eyre at all. It was Emma. I don't know why I was thinking it was Jane Eyre, probably just because it's similar look. But this is Jane Austen's Emma by Marvel. I don't actually have like Emma as a single book. I have Emma in this huge collected works of Jane Austen, but I found on my library's Hoopla account that they have a audiobook version of Emma. So because I'm all out of my CJ Archer books, there's no more on there. So I have to wait for the library to open back up and get the physical copies of those books, because there's 10 in that series, the Glass and Steel series. So I'm kind of on hold on that. So I don't have any audiobooks to listen to, but I saw that they had Emma on there. So I'm going to go ahead and listen to that and then look at and read the comic. So that's first on the list. So that's two. That's the comic and then the audiobook. And then, of course, if you've been following me, you know that I am doing the Series of Unfortunate Events vlog series. So what I've read so far is The Bad Beginning, The Reptile Room, and then last month I read The Wide Window. So that's the first 3 books. And then this month I'm actually going to do 2 again, so I can keep on track for the year. And the next one is The Miserable Mill, which is the 4th book, and then The Austere Academy, which is the 5th book. These two are pretty similar in size, so that's good. Like I said before, once you start getting into the midsection of this series, they do start getting quite large. So I'm going to take advantage of the time now and do 2 this month, and then next month I might try to do 2, but I think to stay on track, because there are 13 books, I think I'm pretty good right now if I read 2 this month and then next month 1 to the rest of the year until December. So watch for those vlog series. I'll go ahead and post what I have so far up top as well. And yeah, these have been really good. I have read the entire series before, so these are rereads for me, but I have only really reread the first 3 a couple of times. Now as I'm getting into the 4th on, I've only ever read them once. So they'll be pretty new to me because I read them, gosh, when they were first coming out. So it's been quite a while. So those are 2 more on the list. Then I have Stephen Fry's The Liar. If you're familiar with Stephen Fry, he is a English actor and comedian. He is hilarious. He does a lot of speaking events, and he does some documentaries. He's been around the US in one of his documentaries where he visits each state, so that was really interesting. I've never read anything written by him, so I'm really excited. I found this at, I think, Goodwill, or this is Bethesda. I found this at Bethesda. So I'm interested in reading this and seeing what he has to offer. So that's another book that I'm going to be reading. Then this book here, Bringing Down the Duke, is an ARC that I found at Goodwill. This was published in September of 2019. I have been seeing this book all over Book of the Month. Like, you know how Facebook and all the websites, they're like Big Brother and they follow you what you're looking at? I definitely was not looking at this anywhere, unless I may have put it on my Goodreads, I'm not sure, but now all of a sudden I see all these ads for it for Book of the Month. So I don't know, maybe this is Book of the Month coming up soon, and I just happen to be coincidentally reading it at the same time. So I will be reading this one. It looks pretty interesting. It's England, 1879. Brilliant but destitute Annabel Archer is one of the first female students at Oxford University. Her scholarship demands that she recruit men of influence to champion the rising women's suffrage movement. Her target, the cold and calculating Duke of Montgomery, commander of British politics. But Montgomery wouldn't be the kingdom's greatest strategist if he couldn't turn the tables and confront Annabel with an altogether different offer. Ooh, so that sounds interesting. I'm kind of in the mood for like lighthearted stuff, so I'm interested to see what that has to offer. Then, of course, you all know how much I loved The Bookish Life of Nina Hill by Abby Waxman. I had some communications with her over some social media platforms, and she saw my rapid review, and she sent me a book, guys. She sent me a book. Isn't that amazing? I have never had this happen to me ever in my entire life, and I'm overjoyed. I'm so excited. So she sent me this book here, and this is her newest book. It's an ARC, and this comes out June 16th of 2020. So this comes out next month. So I thought it would be good if I read it now in May so that you have an idea of what the book's all about, and then can make your decisions on if you want to buy it or not. Of course you want to buy it because she's amazing. And I mean, if this is anything like Nina Hill, it's going to be another 5-star review from me. So I'm really excited. This one's called I Was Told It Would Get Easier. And it looks like, so it says Jessica and Emily have a different idea of how college tours should go. For Emily, it's the last-ditch effort to get excited about her future because every day in the present feels like such a slog. Can't she just skip straight to the adulting part? Oh God, if only. It looks so much easier, at least on social media. For Jessica, it's a chance to bond with a daughter she seems to have lost. They used to be so close, but then goldfish crackers and Play-Doh were no longer enough of a draw. She isn't even sure if Emily likes her anymore. Aww. To be honest, Jessica isn't entirely sure she likes herself. Together with more than a dozen strangers and 2 familiar enemies, Jessica and Emily travel the East Coast, visiting one prospective college after another, meeting up with family and old friends along the way. Surprises and secrets test the relationship and in the end change it forever. So this is a mother-daughter, yeah, it looks like mother-daughter duo Jessica and Emily Bernstein watch their carefully mapped out college tour devolve into something they never expected in this hilarious, insightful new novel. Oh, I'm really intrigued. As you can tell, I don't often read the back of books ever. I am a buy the cover kind of girl. So usually when I'm reading the backs of these books for you guys, it's the first time I'm ever reading the back of the book. Everyone always laughs at me because I really do buy books based on their cover. And I get the whole never judge a book by its cover thing, but I do hard. So I'm excited that one, I got this from the author. She even signed it for me, which is just like, oh my God. So I'm just really excited. I have a special bookmark just for this. So I will definitely be letting you know. I will probably do a standalone review for this so that you have really great insight as it does come out again in June. So yay! Then, because I'm trying to read more classics and keep that going, I am going to try Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea. Now, I never had to read this for anything. I have read some Hemingway, and I'm actually most intrigued by Hemingway's life. So I've watched a few documentaries and some like fictional movies that are based on his life. It's so interesting. I would love to go to Florida to his estate. I'm pretty sure that there are still cats that are descendants from his cats. Like, that is so weird. Like, you never think about that. Like, oh, you know, this is his estate. This is where his family lived. And now his family has dispersed. But look there. That's a cat that is a descendant from one of the cats that Ernest Hemingway had. Like, who? No words. So I'm excited to read this because, like I said, I've been more intrigued with his life than his writing, so I'm really going to jump into this one. It's super tiny, so I have no excuse. I'm excited to read it, so yeah, that's the next one I'm going to be reading. And then I really like Frederick Backman, or Bachman, or however you want to say it. Obviously, he is not an American, so we say things not correctly, I guess. But I have read A Man Called Ove. I've read Beartown. I have other things written by him. I did start this. Britt Marie Was Here. I did start this book a couple years ago, and I really enjoyed it, but for one reason or another, I think I just put it down. I was in the midst of my master's degree, so I think I was really heavily in other reading, and I was just like, I just don't have time for this right now. So I do remember really enjoying what I did read, and I swear I got almost a third in. Britt Marie is really unusual, like an unusual person. And I think he does that a lot in his writing. Like, sometimes there's just like one person that's totally random, like what? So this book, it says Britt Marie can't stand a mess, but that's exactly what her life has become. Leaving behind an unfaithful husband and a lifetime of taking care of everyone else before herself, she moves to the backwater town of Bourg for a job looking after a crumbling recreation center, the favorite hangout of the town's supremely untalented children's soccer team. With her strict views about all things from the proper arrangement of a cutlery drawer to the appropriate time to wake up, Britt Marie knows exactly how those around her should live their lives, and she isn't shy about sharing her opinions. And then it goes on and on and on. I'm really intrigued. And again, Danny likes the cover. I mean, look, there's a little rat. Look at the little rat on the soccer ball. And then she's got her purse here with some random things in it, but I like his choice of covers. I mean, they're always like, they're never right on most of the time, and they're just so nice. I'm so weird. I just really like covers. So that's another one that I'm going to attempt to read. And then the book that we're reading for our book club this month, I have to take a look at the picture because I can't get to the library, and I don't really want to buy this book, because if you saw a couple months ago for my book club, we did Part of Your World, which is one of those Disney books, and I did not like it. I was not thrilled. I was really annoyed. But our book club is also going to be reading another one of those Disney books, which is Beauty and the Beast Lost in a Book, an enchanting original story by Jennifer Donnelly. So this one is obviously revolves around Beauty and the Beast. I have seen different kind of reviews for this one, so I'm hoping that'll be better. And I think my expectations were just really, really high for Part of Your World, just because Little Mermaid is one of my favorites. I would say Beauty and the Beast is another one of my favorites, but this one I feel like might be better just because it's lost in a book, so maybe it'll revolve more around books. So maybe I'll feel better about it. So I'm hoping, but obviously I can't get to the library. So this is actually an ebook from my library's Hoopla account. So I don't like ebooks. I very, very rarely read ebooks. And I used to read them more on my Nook. I had the Barnes & Noble Nook, but I don't like reading from ebooks. I don't know, it just feels so odd. The only thing I can say that I really do enjoy about reading from an ebook is if there's a word that you don't really understand, as long as you're like attached to some kind of Wi-Fi, you can click on the word and it'll give you a description. That's probably the only thing I like about it. So that'll be hard because it'll be on my phone, so it'll be interesting to say the least. And then the last book here is a book that actually is written by someone that I know. So this book is called The Motherhood Affidavits, a Memoir, and it's by Laura Jean Baker, who was one of my undergraduate professors. And she was at one of our book festivals a couple years ago, and of course she gave me a nice little signed copy. And kind of talked about the book a little bit, read from it. It's basically about her life while having her children. So she's kind of like addicted to having kids. I believe they have 5. So she is a college professor, she has 5 kids, and then her husband is a lawyer. So what this book has done is interwoven her life as a mother, a working mother that is, her kind of addiction to being pregnant, and then the cases that her husband is working on within that time. So it's really interesting. She read a little bit of it and it was really great, and I love her to death. She's one of my favorite professors. And it was funny because she was pregnant at the time that I had her in classes, and then like years later I would pass her in the hallway and I'd see that she was pregnant again, and I was like, wait a minute, wasn't she pregnant when? I was like, whatever, I don't know. So I adore her, and not because she's pregnant all the time, but she was just, there are 2 professors that I will never forget, actually 3, maybe 4, but my top 2, Carl Bowler, love you man, and Laura Jean Baker, the best professors at my school. Unbelievable people. So definitely gonna read her memoir and let you know all about it. So those are all of the books that I'm gonna be reading in May, and it looks like a pretty hefty list, and yet don't forget, still reading in London. We are at page about 428, which is still behind but still way ahead. So we're still reading that, me and my friend Laura from Book Bubbler. So I have a lot of pages to read, and I think I can do it. I'm pretty excited and pretty hopeful. And you know how it is. I'm gonna be reading, and then all of a sudden you guys will see me when I have 10 days left, and I'll be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, help me. And then all of a sudden at the end I'll be like, I got it done, girl. I don't know what that was. Sorry, that was kind of weird. But anywho, I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope that your May has brought some sunshine and flowers, and that if you are able, that you are calling your friends and family and staying connected. I hope that you're all well as far as your mental health goes. I know this is not an easy time for a lot of us, so really hope you are taking care. If you are new here, welcome. If you are here and have been here, love you. And yeah, so go ahead, hit that subscribe, notification bell, comment below. What are you guys reading in May? Anything again that you want me to read later on. Until next time, guys, you know how it goes. Happy reading. Bye.